Hey guys, check this out.
What is it?
Is someone in?
Is there a reason you need to be filming people right now?
You can go to the hearing. It's going to be at Thurston County Courthouse where the Constitution goes to die. And I would encourage you to go to the hearing, and I know I'll probably be there as well. I've been at a number of his hearings in the past. And one thing I want to point out in Tim's case that's kind of interesting, before I hand it off to the next person, we have campaign finance laws in Washington State. Campaign finance laws are written mainly to suppress your ability to participate in free speech. Everybody likes them because they like the idea of transparency in the political process, so do I. But what happens is they're primarily used to protect political insiders and to punish political newcomers. And the campaign finance laws in the state are written in a way that is pretty much impossible for most people to comply. And I discovered this myself, despite actually teaching classes on it for a while, in 2016. And when they filed a PDC complaint against me, Public Disclosure Commission, that's the agency that enforces it, I finally went and really did my homework on it, and I started filing PDC complaints myself on the other side, because I found out that on the conservative freedom side, we had just tried to hunker down and survive the assault of complaints or the process that the Attorney General had been using to harass people. And so proportionally, I filed 620 PDC complaints against the majority of the elected officials in the state, and the PACs and the unions and judges and all my friends on the other side. In fact, Senator Sam Hunt, who I mentioned earlier, who likes to mute people with testimony, he wrote a letter to the PDC and said clearly Glen Morgan's ignorant about the campaign finance laws in the state, after I filed the first complaint on him. And I thought, you know, he's probably right. So I went and did my homework, and the next one caused the Attorney General. It triggered a litigation against Sam Hunt, and Senator Hunt had to pay a fine. Fortunately, after I got enough of the politicians to pay fines and forced the Attorney General to file 19 lawsuits against his friends, they decided that it was time to change the campaign finance laws in Washington State. So they put a bill in 2018 called the Stop Glen Morgan Bill, and that's what it was nicknamed. I remember that. And so they had to change some of the rules. They're still not great, but they're a little less delusional than they were before. And so the heavy hand that has come down on Tim Eyman is going to be a little bit harder to apply to the next person based on the changes that they made there. But that was a good example, actually. Good activism, exposing the truth. I still file complaints just for the fun of it. My fun, not so much for the people I file them on. But and it's the other side spent about $600,000 in payments and fines. I don't know how much in attorney fees, nobody can figure that out. And the Attorney General and actually the PDC had to hire a lot more employees. So I accidentally grew government a little bit bigger than I had wanted to. And but nevertheless, I think that's just an example of activism. I want to talk about one more person who should come up and speak next. And Doug Bassler, I know you're here. Now, as Doug's coming up here, if Doug had not recorded what the State Patrol and the Enterprise Services had said here and not gotten the video to me, I don't think I would have organized this event today. And I want to tell you something about Doug Bassler. One of the reasons why I love this guy is that I remember he got arrested for preaching the gospel down in downtown Portland in 1998, right? And what I love about it is they dragged him off the car, handcuffed him, and threw him in the squad car, and he fought it. And he went to court, and he prevailed. And immediately he left that courtroom and went right back down to Portland and started doing the exact same thing just a few minutes later on the same corner, same exact location. And I only say that because you shouldn't have to be arrested to practice our freedom and our free speech. You shouldn't have to, but you can't let that intimidate you. And you do the right thing. I mean, if they're going to arrest you, then go and deal with it, and then come right back out. You do not let that intimidate you from being here, being in places like that. And with that, I just want Doug, and you probably have a couple of things you want to say here, and thank you so much for giving me the evidence and the motivation to get back out here.
Wow, so I usually like to start with a joke, because I have a new one. What's the difference between a progressive and a U.S. savings bond? A U.S. savings bond eventually will mature and make money. Anyway, April 26th this year, a few weeks into the lockdown, they closed our churches. And I got up on April 26th, and I really heard the Lord say, we're going to have street churches, and I haven't had street church for years. I had a PA, a generator, a guitar, and So we went over there on the other side of that fountain and set everything up for our radio show, our table, our equipment, our microphones. They were saying, we will come, we will defend you. And I said, okay, how much is this going to cost? They go, sir, we will charge you $1. So I want everybody to go to pji.org and give them money, because that's what they do. They defend us if we're willing to fight. As soon as I call them, they go, oh, we're so glad you called. We're very concerned about lack of access in Olympia. They immediately got happy. Write out a report, send them the videos. So they did the investigation and came back and said the login structures has to do with camping. And there's case law in Washington State that says you have to prove they're gonna camp. Anybody want to camp under that speaker right there? Anybody been camping in Washington in the winter? I need more than that. I like my travel trailer, thank you very much. You know, so any rate, contacted Glenn. I think you put all of those, that list of rights are on wethegovern.com. Look, he's right. We have to fight. Now, so I hope, you know, if you've got a PA, get it over here, put it on the ground, let's keep going. They said they suspended this indefinitely, but if next week somebody comes down here and they pull the same crap on them, let us know. Get a hold of Glenn, get a hold of me or whatever, and we will immediately sue them. PJI is ready to sue them right now. Right now. So God bless you guys for coming out.
The specific grounds, that's a good question. So specifically, there were 2 whacks that they were using, and I have them on my website. I don't know if I have them totally memorized. I think it was whack 200-220-235, right? And specifically, it had to do with camping. And there is federal case law that say you can't have camping overnight as part of a protest. And that's probably a good idea in this city, because if you look on the other side of the lake, they do like building big toxic waste campgrounds, and that it really looks more like a landfill over there, and that's probably closer to resembling that. And understandably, the people who manage the Capitol here would prefer not to have it look that way out here. So that's an understandable desire. What it was is it's being misused and misapplied. And the truth is, normally, it's been fairly easy. Going back 100 years, it's been generally pretty easy here to get a permit, because it was you just called up and said, hey, I want to do an event at the Capitol. And all the reasons the permits primarily exist here, so that if there's already a group over there, they can just tell you that there's already a group there, and you can move your event here, or that one, or that one. They would just give different locations. But the unique to state history, for the first time in our history,
The editorial focus is music groups and personal
be filming people right now?
Hey guys, check this out.
What is it?
Is someone in?